6.5%, that's the GDP print or estimate for FY25. Is that good enough?
No. I think we aspire much more. We should be double digit. That should be our ambition. We must work towards double-digit growth, because if we have to become a developed nation as per our Prime Minister by 2047, then we need to grow at double-digit.
What's going wrong and how should it be fixed? Is it a fiscal solution or a monetary policy solution or both?
I think since the COVID, there has been a big setback to the world order, and it's taking time. Though India did extremely well under the government of Mr. Modi, we did fiscally extremely well to maintain our inflation and as well as our rupee devaluation. We have handled it pretty well. But on the growth front, I think we have lagged behind, and we need to be upwards of 8%, if not double digit.
Do you have any recommendations for the Prime Minister or the Finance Minister as the budget comes up?
I mean, I'm sure she has many better
suggestions
advisors.
From industries?
Yeah, but from a suggestion point of view, I think we need to invest more money in infrastructure, because 1 rupee invested in infrastructure gives multiple returns to the economy. So the government must invest heavily into infrastructure and must double down on infrastructure spend.
The trade-offs, Mr. Jindal, are tough. Not maintaining budget discipline has other outcomes such as inflation, impact on the currency, something that you at your group feel acutely, given both your export and import interests. So how do you expect the government to balance this?
No, I mean,
what would you like? What's your wish list?
So, I mean, it's a very difficult, let's say, walk, or it's a walk on the thin edge. But we can't compromise on our investment in infrastructure. That is something which is a must. We must do. Government spend must happen, and only then the economy will drive. And that's what China did for over 20 years. They have really invested heavily. And at that moment in time, they did not bother too much about inflation. Even if we have to live with slightly higher inflation, slightly higher devaluation, but our investment, our capital spend must be higher in infrastructure development.
So you're hoping for a larger allocation of the budget towards infrastructure in the week to come?
Yeah, I'm very optimistic about it. I'm sure the government is also thinking exactly what I'm saying, that they have to invest more money in infrastructure.
All right. As you watch the headlines emanate from President Trump's inauguration, all the conversation around tariffs, potential no tariffs, the trade war with China, the no trade war with China.
Yeah.
What do you make of this? How do you strategize your business growth plan, activity over the year, given this volatility?
So two things. One is that Mr. Trump is very unpredictable, right? Nobody can predict. Probably he himself cannot predict himself.
Sure.
In the morning he will wake up and he'll probably tweet something and the whole thing changes, right? So he is a very because he's a very different kind of a person, and good for him that he's been very successful. So that's him. But as far as we are concerned, I am concerned, our group is concerned, we will continue to invest. We don't. We are a long-term player, and I'm a very optimist, a big optimist on India. I believe in India, and I believe that India will be a developed country sooner than later. So therefore, we will continue to invest into the country.
The number, I believe, is somewhere close to $70 billion for the next,
what is our
7 years or 6 years?
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us? I'm guessing the largest portion of that goes towards your incumbent steel business.
Steel
can you give us a sense of where you're hoping to build?
Yeah, steel and renewable energy or energy portfolio are the two big areas where we will invest. But also on the infrastructure and electric mobility, as well as other new areas which we are still defining. We will be investing in.
All of these will be impacted by the policies of President Trump in the U.S. Steel, electric vehicles, as well as renewable energy and the entire value chain for renewable energy.
But I am looking at home market, Indian market.
Correct. But what about sourcing, supply chain concerns, any of those?
No, but I don't think United States plays any role in supply side or sourcing side. India has a very deep electric mobility component manufacturing base. We are very strong. We are very mature as far as that is concerned. So, so we will have to develop some technologies which right now lies in China. We will have to align with China for that technology for the time being. And once we have it, we will then localize it very, very fast. So I'm not really looking at United States. I mean, they will come up with tariffs for sure.
Right.
And whether they will take over Canada and they will take over Greenland, I'm not sure. But yeah, but you know, it's the way. So therefore, I don't see real worry on Indian industry from that point of view.
All right, great. So what do you think then will be the biggest challenge this year for you?
I'm really not looking at the challenge. I mean, in the sense, the steel industry needs some support from the government. Steel industry can't survive if the government allows it to be dumped by Chinese steel and stuff like that. So, not because the Indian steel industry is not efficient, but because the Chinese have already done their capex, they've already built their steel industry. Now they are on their way down, and so therefore they don't want more investment in steel industry. They don't need to make that many profits. But whereas Indian steel industry, we need to grow, we need to invest, we need to build capacity.
And you've been calling for protection for a very long time now, but it hasn't come.
It hasn't
Why
come.
do you think that is? Because you have the ear of Prime Minister Modi.
No, these things I don't discuss with Prime Minister Modi because it is not fair on my part to discuss with Prime Minister Modi. I've discussed with Finance Minister, and I think she's very sympathetic towards this situation what we are today in. So therefore, I'm quite hopeful that something will happen sooner than later.
So it is the China dumping sort of challenge that's your key concern at this point in time.
That's the key concern at this point in time.
All right, Mr. Jindal, thank you so much for your time here in Davos.
Thank you.